Welcome back to Advent of Code 2015, day 21. RPG Simulator 20XX. Little Henry K's got a new video game for Christmas. It's an RPG. Role-playing video game. He's stuck on a bus. He needs to know what equipment to buy at the shop. He hands you the controller. At this game, the player, you and the enemy, the boss, take turns attacking. The player always goes first. Each attack reduces the opponent's hit points by at least one. The first character at or below 0 hit points loses. Damage dealt by an attacker each turn is equal to the attacker's damage score minus the defender's armor score. An attacker always does at least 1 damage. So if the attacker has a damage score of 8 and the defender has an armor score of 3, the defender loses 5 hit points. If the defender had an armor score of 300, the defender will lose 1 hit point. So you always lose at least 1. Your damage score and armor score both start at 0. They can be increased by buying items in exchange for gold. You start with no items and have as much gold as you need. Your total damage or armor is equal to the sum of those stats from all your items. You have 100 hit points. Here's what the item shop is selling. Weapons, armor, rings. You must buy exactly 1 weapon, no dual wielding. Armor is optional, but you can't use more than 1. You can buy 0 to 2 rings, at most 1 for each hand. You must use any items you buy. The shop only has 1 of each item, so you can't buy, for example, 2 rings of damage plus 3. For example, suppose you have 8 hit points, 5 damage and 5 armor, and that boss has 12 hit points, 7 damage and 2 armor. The player deals 5 minus 2, 3 damage, blah blah. Boss goes down to 9 hit points. Okay, we start with 12. Start with 8, okay. 12 minus 3 is 9, and then 2 damage is 6 for me, and so on. In this scenario, the player wins. You have 100 hit points. In the real example, the boss's actual stats are in your puzzle input. What is the least amount of gold you can spend and still win the fight? Okay. So, the boss is... what's this? We can be a character with hit points, damage, armor, I do want to do the example first. 12, 7, 2. Real boss. Boss. Real. Okay. Now we can delete this. Let's go to 8 hit points, 5 damage, and 5 armor. Now we have to make a game loop. Player deals damage, boss goes down to 9. Okay, so I have to pull this out. Say player hits boss, which means boss hit points minus player damage minus cost armor. Max of 1 and this. Oh, so at least 1. Damage. If boss goes down to 0, player wins. If player goes down to 0 and boss is not to 0, then boss wins. See. Okay, so this example works now. Now we have to make the shop. Maybe here. So we have to model these weapons, which is, what is it? Damage cost armor. What? Equipment. Damage cost armor. And then I say set of equipment with cost damage armor. Let's do it this way. Cost damage armor. This. Maybe easier to parse it. Draw the first block. Slash n. Drop the first one for each, and then we have it to have a line, and we just need to replace the spaces. And then we take the 1, 2, and 3 and this cost damage armor. So we have equipment cost equals 1, and then check this. Weapons. Cost 3 armor. 3 damage, 3 cost. Wow, that's weird. Cost, damage, armor. What did I do? Damage, armor. So we have 840. Here it works. Strange 80. Oh, look at this. So let's do like this. Oops. We run it again, then we should have it fixed. 80 cost 3 armor. Okay, 100 cost 3 damage. Cool. So now we can make a combination of weapons, damage, armor that we can afford and test our game. So we need to choose one weapon, 0 or 1 armor, 0 or 2 or 1 or 2 rings. Okay, so I need to figure out like all the options of combinations that I can pick. I can just check one weapon, one weapon with 0 armor, and then all the variation of rings. So I need to figure out how to take 2 rings. How do I get 2 rings? So how do we call this? We call this combinations, weapons for each. So we have a weapon that we choose. Then we have a armor or 0 armor. Armor we choose. Armors. Armor. Or more. Should be armors, I guess. So we have armors, and then we have 1 or 2 rings. I have a list of 6 things. How do I get combinations of them? Combos of, say, list. I can also take 1 and then go through all the others. Let's see. So I can do for each element. Combine with the others in the list. L dot filter it equals health dot for each other list of health and other. And it is plan map it, map it normally, I guess. Map, and then we return that. Or we just map it. And then this can be T. No. DOS combos. Let's see. We have the DOS combos of the list of rings. And 0 rings. And this is 2 actually. With 2 we have DOS combos. Then we have the 1, which is just rings.map list of. get somewhere here with this. And then we have armors plus list of armors is a list, right? Do something like I could already map it to a player and the cost. Pair of cost and player. Character. Cost is in int, I guess. So then I take. Let's check the cost is my rings. Which ring? We say cost is armor.cost plus weapon cost plus ring.cost. Ring does not have a cost. Oh yeah, it could be two rings, right? Ring dot sum of it dot cost. Actually, we don't even need cost here. We can just say, hey, if cost is greater than 100, I don't care. If cost is smaller than or equal to 100, I can add it. And then I add character of damage, weapon.damage plus armor.damage, and then armor doesn't have damage, and the ring does have damage though. Does ring.damage and armor is let's have armor.armor ring dot sum of it dot armor. It doesn't have armor. So then we're here, and then we have I don't know if this works with the empty list stuff. What we have to do is check our combinations. Okay, we should add them to the list maybe. Nice. Now that we have the combinations, we can play the game with all the combinations and check which of the combinations lets us win the game. So instead of printing this, I can say for each combination I can say print combinations, and for each combination I want to play the game, and I want to save okay, maybe I should save the cost. I can save the cost in the character. Cost int. So I just say doesn't matter what cost it is here. This is just an example. Here I can just save the cost of this player, and then we have to use the specific player. It's actually just the player. And then we don't really use this player anymore. The player has a damage, an armor, and a cost. And if I win, I will add it to the result. The cost file results is a list of ints. And then print the minimum cost. That makes me win. That should be the one that we want. $78. Do I play with 100 hit points? No, wait, we need a real boss. First of all. And we need to check the hit points. My hit points are 100 and the boss's hit points are 109. Okay, and then we do the whole combinations thing. And I wanted to check if how much money we can spend. Oh no, it doesn't matter how much, it's just you can buy one weapon and so on. Okay, so boss wins always. Why? We have a character with damage 7. Let's see, what's our actual damage? 7. Boss's damage is 8 and armor 2. That's fine, I think. Let's move this down so we can see it. Maybe here or something. Yeah, damage 8, cost armor 2. Then for us, we do player damage, armor, player armor. Maybe we can watch one of the games. Player damage 7. The combination. I wonder if we have like a base damage. Your damage score and armor score start at 0. And they increase by buying items. Yeah, so if I buy a longsword or something, I have damage 7. Okay. Damage 7. Doesn't work. My hit points go down pretty fast. Yeah, I should check if I have all the options that I think I would need. Let's look at them. Damage 7, armor 1. So that's 7 and 1. 7. Wait, it costs 90. 6. Damage 7. What is that even? Damage 7? What adds up to 96? Damage 7 and armor 1. Armor 1 can be this or this. So I have this. Let's say I have this guy, 13. Let's check if I'm actually doing it correctly here. Weapon, armor, and ring. Print line. Actually, print line. Oh, let me check. C. Character with weapon, armor, and ring. Let's check these guys. what is it? Something that costs 8. Make this 4 damage. Here, this one, the dagger. And then I buy 13 and 1. And then I buy 2 rings. 25, 1, and 50 and 2, yeah, and then I get 7. I have 1. And 50 and 2. 2 damage rings. Coolio. I mean, that looks like it works correctly. Rings. Here I have only 1 ring and an armor. I wonder if I can see here 0 rings. Should be able to get 0 armor as well. No, that doesn't work with the 0 rings works, but 0 armor doesn't. I could make up some kind of equipment with 0, 0, 0 as a 0 armor. Doesn't let me help me win, but it works as a thing. Here I can have, then I have rings. Because I can have 0 of 1 armor, right? Armor is optional. Yeah, okay, that works then, this trick. So this basically says I have no armor because there's no cost, no extra armor. It seems to work fine to buy just a weapon here. Five, 4. 5, 4. Wait, what? Damage 5, armor 4. Cool. Yeah, that's this one. And then 0 rings. What about just getting a damage 5? 10. What about just damage 8 or something? Here's damage 9 even. Here as well. Damage 8. Armor 1. I feel like I would win with damage 8 and armor 1. Damage 8, armor 2? That would definitely win me, no? This one. Okay, we should go through again. Layer. This one. Because the boss has damage 8, armor 2, so I can't catch him up unless I do maybe damage 9, armor 0. What's this one do? Still not enough. That's crazy. I should be doing more damage. Oh, okay, but it's just 1 more. Wow, he does way more damage. Because he has armor 2, of course. Yeah, how do I beat this guy? I don't know. Let's see. I have 100 hit points. kind of restricting myself too much. I made up this rule, I think. There's no rule on this. So I can just spend more money than 100. And I still can't win? That's crazy. This guy must win. Damage 10, armor 7. Boss wins. Oh, okay. This is it. I'm hitting too hard. Okay, the smallest one. I was just checking how I can get my boss onto the exactly 0 hit points, but obviously I can go below 0 hit points. And that's the right answer, so we can just check all the options. The minimum cost option seems to be 111. Let's see what was the configuration. Is it this one? S2. 7.3, 7.4. Probably 7.4 then. Which is the 7 damage longsword plus armor with 2 armor and a ring with 2 armor. 2 armor and ring with 2 armor. Nice. So, turns out the shopkeeper is working with the boss and can persuade you to buy whatever items he wants. So now the shopkeeper is working with the boss and can persuade you to buy whatever item he wants. The other rules still apply, and he still only has one of each item. What is the most amount of gold you can spend and still lose the fight? So yeah, second part is super easy. We just have to switch. If the boss hit point is smaller than 0, I win still. But if it isn't, and we know that one of them is smaller or equal to 0, then it must be the boss. It must be me, so I can add my cost here. And I just checked and verified which configuration is, and it's Lambert 7, armor 3, and I can get that with 188 cost. Let's see, for example, like this. Buying the longsword, no armor, and 2 rings. Yeah, so you can just waste lots of money on the rings and still lose. And that's it for day 21. Thank you. See you next time.